So siapa sempat buka, kalau boleh sempat buka, cuba buka lah, tengok dah ada ke belum dah masukkan malam lah. Right, okay, so last week we already cover the first one, introduction to construction industry. I think we complete this one. I think for today maybe we can proceed for second, third and maybe the fourth one. Okay. So this ITP document and also the NCP document already uploaded in the author, so you can find in the author lah. Okay. Okay, so today I think we start here. Project management. Okay. Right. So we are going to try to distinguish what is project management, construction management, and contract management. Have you taken sustainable construction management subject? Have you, among you?
Not yet.
Not yet, huh?
Yes.
Oh. So yes means you already taken that subject.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Right, okay, so for those who already taken sustainable construction management, means I think this definition is some sort of revision. Hopefully you have better understanding since this is second time or revision. Okay, so project management, so we have to look into what is project actually. Project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product through a set of interrelated tasks. So it is a temporary effort, meaning we have certain duration, okay, to put our effort, and then the effort, the objective of the effort is actually to come out to produce a product, so a building infrastructure, and in order to materialize, to produce the product, we have certain activities, tasks to ensure that the product can be produced lah. Okay, so that actually there are three things lah in this definition. So we have certain duration actually to undertake this effort, to put an effort. Then that effort is actually comprises of many activities, interrelated tasks, vast of activities actually we have to manage, and then at the end all these things will come up with a product lah. Okay, in engineering or construction industry, example, a building project would constitute a temporary endeavor where a myriad of skills and materials are brought together to create a unique product. So not only time, also skills, materials, and many more things brought together to success the project through a set of interrelated relevant activities. Okay, so that is the meaning of projects. So project management, the planning, monitoring, and control of all aspects of a project. So if we say project management, so the management there meaning the action to plan, to monitor, to control, planning, monitoring, and control of all aspects of project. So there are many aspects, there are many components, there are many elements of projects, especially in terms of the financial, okay, the technical, and also the administrative. Okay, so that is the most important. And then at the same time, project management also have to look into the motivation of all those involved in it. So in the projects, Okay, from inception right up to eventual completion with the ultimate objectives of delivering the end product within a specified cost, time, quality, and performance. Okay, so project management means as a project manager and member of project management team, we have to do the planning, monitoring, and control all the elements aspect of the project. Yeah, and at the same time, we have to motivate, make sure the motivation of all in the team is always good, always high throughout the project lah, to ensure we can finish the project within the specified cost, time, quality, and according to the specific performance specified lah at the very beginning of the project. Okay, right, so that is project management. Now we look at the construction management. Okay, right, so project management cover overall from inception up to the completion of the project. So construction management, it is actually in general is a term used to describe the particular types of contract procurement method. So this is like we mentioned last week. Okay, procurement method. Okay, so this is about procurement method. We learn about design, build, right? Design and build. Okay. Okay, so all these things are examples of contract procurement method or project management method. So construction management, CM. C is also one of the contract procurement method. Okay, so there is one general definition of construction management. Okay, and then the second one, the actual process of running a construction project, that is also called construction management. Okay, so similar with the project management, so because we have the management here, okay, so it must comprise these three things, planning, monitoring, and control. The same of all aspects of the construction process, but this is the limitation from pre-tender to the completion stage. Okay, pre-tender normally before we call tender, we open tender for the project to any contractor. Maybe here include preparation of tender document, maybe finalizing the design, okay, for the purpose of tender. So that is part of construction management. Okay. Right. So planning, monitoring, and control of essentially the construction aspect of a project. Okay, the scope of construction management includes not only the activities pertaining to the construction stage, but also all the preliminary enabling matters at the pre-contract stage. So the terminology pre-contract stage. So what is the contract stage? Contract stage is when the best contractor is selected and awarded. So that is when a contractor is appointed, then the contract stage is started. That's why so construction management actually covers before that. So including pre-tender, tender stage, that is also part of construction management stage. Okay. But because the name is construction, so therefore the construction management is weighted heavily to the construction process. So mainly is construction process, but it also cover pre-tender stage and also pre-contract stage. Okay. So can you differentiate between project management and construction management so far?
Yes.
Okay, class? Right,
Yeah,
okay.
clear.
Yeah, okay, thank you. It is very clear, right? Right, okay. Now we move to the next one, which is contract management, okay? So this is supposedly our focus since our subject is contract and estimation. So we are focusing on this contract management. So contract on itself is actually a legally binding agreement between two or more persons which creates mutual rights and duties enforceable at law, okay, or a legal device for conducting exchanges between parties, binding parties to future performance. Okay, so we are talking about agreement. Contract is actually understood as a agreement. Okay, so the agreement must be legally binding, means it is governed by law. Okay, between two or more persons. Okay, and then we have this mutual rights and duties. So agreement, if we talk about agreement, so actually we can create mutual rights and duties. So at the very beginning, actually both parties will have these rights and duties. They agree mutually lah, both sides. And the agreement can be enforceable by law lah. So meaning it is legal. Right? Okay, so it is also called as a legal device for something to be executed, to be performed in the future. So we also have contract. We are having, normally we are talking about something that we will do in the future. So that is contract lah. Okay, and then contract management, a term to describe the control and administration of the legally binding agreement between two or more parties from its inception up to its final discharge. Okay, so this contract management. So actually we are controlling, we are administering the legally binding agreement. Okay, so there are procedures, there are few rules and regulations that we need to follow throughout the contract. Okay, so from its inception up to its final discharge of the contract. Okay, so like project management, so we have the contract management part of it. The same goes with the contract construction management. So contract management is actually within that both project management and construction management, because during project management the contract actually exists between the for example, if we are talking about design, bid and build, this is traditional. So during the project early stage, for example, during the planning, and then maybe we are talking about design stage. Okay, so at this stage actually they are contract, contract between client and also the consultant who actually come up with the design, right? Okay, and then design, maybe we forward to tender. This is simplified stage, and then we go for construction. Okay, so here contractor will join, especially once the best contractor is selected, so we consider contractor join at this stage lah, before the construction starts. So once the contract has been awarded to the contractor, meaning the contract, the agreement is valid, is started, meaning the client have another contract lah. Okay, the second contract is within the client and contractor. Okay, so here they are contract management, here they are contract management. Okay, right, any questions so far?
No, doctor.
Right, okay, thank you. Next, we move to scope of contract management. Okay, so contract management actually covers this lah, the planning, the first one, the planning for the legal framework or transaction that is to be entered into by the parties to a project. Okay, so legal framework or transaction. So we have a contract, so we need to have a framework. Yeah. What kind of transaction? What kind of deal? What kind of business dealing with in the contract? Okay, so we need to plan for the contract. Okay, and then the administration and enforcement. Okay, the second one, the administration and enforcement of the provision, procedures and practices as expressly or impliedly stipulated in the contract. So enforcement of the provision. So provision, procedures, practices. Okay. So this is normally will spell out in the contract. So for example, for construction project, we will have articles of agreement, and then we have standard of contract where actually they have a clause, clauses actually spell out for the contract. For example, what is the SO responsibility, what is the contractor responsibility. Okay. Okay, so actually this is what I mentioned in the third one, this one. The management of the roles. So they need to have this. In the provision, they have to spell out clearly what is the roles, responsibilities, powers, right, duties, and ability of the contracting parties. And this is that need to be administered and enforced in the contract. Okay, so for example, in construction, we have superintending officer. Okay, we have employer. Okay, we have contractor. Okay, and then we have subcontractor and so on. There are many parties. So in the contract, which related, for example, the contract is between the client and also the contractor. Okay, so they have to mention parties which is related to them. Okay, right? Okay, and then the implementation of relevant sanction to induce performance, okay, or to compensate for the non-conformance on the part of the parties. So this is in the case of certain party, for example, contractor, he delay the works, okay, due to some unreasonable reasons. So what are the penalties to the contractor to protect the interest of the client? Okay, so all those things also stated in the contract. The same goes if the client pay the contractor very late. So what can contractor do? So this is supposed to be covered lah in the contract. Okay, right? So the last one is first line resolution of disputes between the contracting parties. Okay, so we have this one, the fourth one. Okay, so we have in the contract normally they will state if this happen, what to do. If they are change in the design, what to do? Who need to confirm the design? Who need to prepare a written statement of the instruction? So this is something like need to be explained in the contract. So this will help to avoid dispute, or actually how to resolve any disputes, okay, including this one. If one party actually not performing to what have been specified in the contract, so what the other party can do, giving warning, for example, That is examples mentioned in the contract. So this is scope of contract management. Any question, class? If you have question, just interrupt. Anything?
No, doctor.
No. Right. Okay. Next, purpose of contract. The contract entered into by the parties is actually contract management. So what is the purpose of contract management? Okay, the parties perform their respective obligation, duties under the contract fully. So once they have the contract, okay, so they have the provision, they understand what they need to do, what they cannot do, what they should avoid to avoid from the contract terminated, so they know all those things. So fully and efficient and fair contract can be done lah. Okay, so the parties perform their respective obligation duties under the contract fully. So this is the purpose lah. So by having a proper contract, so it would help the parties perform their respective obligation duties under the contract fully. Okay, and it is clear in the contract that each party to the contract receive the full benefit due under the contract. So in the contract also specify what the contractor, when the contractor will be paid, how much it will be paid, okay, and then what is the in terms of the building or the infrastructure, when need to be delivered, to be hand over to the client. So all these things, it is specified lah in the contract. Okay, so with that clearly stated in the contract, it will help lah the contract management to monitor all those things. Okay, and then the contract is completed within the time frame and cost agreed between the parties. Okay, so that is very important. So clearly, so the contractor must try their best to complete the work within the time frame and the cost agreed. Okay, and then also to fulfill the quality of the finished product agreed by the parties. Not compromise in terms of material, workmanship, and design. Okay, and finally, disputes and contentious issues are minimized or resolved. Okay, so because they spell out clearly if anything happen, what to do, what next. Okay, so hopefully it will provide a resolution for any disputes. Okay, so disputes and contentious issues are minimized or resolved completely without having to resort to litigation or arbitration. So this is actually a different method of resolving disputes or any conflict lah in the construction industry. So there are many. Litigation, arbitration. Litigation normally involve court lah. Arbitration, we will appoint some kind a judge to help to resolve lah between the two parties. So this is arbitration. And then maybe we have something like adjudication, and there are few terminology lah. Maybe mediation. So there are few method lah. But I think the most serious one is actually litigation lah, when we bring the issue, the problem to the court lah. Okay, so we try to avoid this. So this arbitration normally not up to the court, but we appoint some independent judge lah to resolve the issue, which both actually involve cost lah. Okay. Right. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, Doctor.
Right, okay. Right, okay, so we move to the next one. Parties involved in construction project and construction and contract management. Okay, so this is maybe you can add more lah, but so far this is what we can map lah. The stakeholders who are actually involved in any construction project. So we start here, owner, okay. Owner or developer lah. So sometimes developer is the owner or the owner is actually the developer. So owner can from both sector, public sector or private sector. Public sector like a developer, so that is a housing. There are many housing projects, right? Or apartment, condominium, KLCC. That is actually consider private sector. Private sector, okay. Public sector is actually government bodies lah. Government bodies, for example, like UTHM. So this is the owner. Okay, we have JKR. Sorry. We have JKR or Public Work Department, who actually normally represents as the SO, Superintending Officer for any government project. Okay, that is example. But for UTHM project, normally we have an office, we call it PPP, Pejabat Pembangunan dan Penyelenggaraan. Office of Development and Maintenance. So normally the pengarah, the director of this office become the SO of any projects in UTHM. Okay, so that is owner or developer. Okay. Right, okay, then second one, financial. This is very important. Okay, so financial, any project must be must be funded. If not, the work cannot be done without any funding. Right, so financial, we have bank, we have finance company, we have leasing company, we have credit corporation. So this is types of financial. So we normally family bank, right? But they are also finance company, leasing company, and credit corporation. Okay, which is actually can provide funding for construction project. Okay. Next is actually maybe consultant. We go to the third one, which is consultant. Okay, so consultant, we have project consultant. Okay, which actually covers this landscape architect. I think this is only also part here because not enough space, that's why it comes up here. So actually landscape architect is also part here lah. Okay, so we have project management consultant, cover architect, okay, planner. So this is planner, town planner. So normally this is for big development area. For example, we call it a town development. For example, so this is big scales of construction. So they normally involve town planner as well, right? Okay, so they are also engineer. So you are here as an engineer. Okay, engineer, civil and structural, mechanical, electrical. What else? Maybe geotechnical, geotechnical engineer, separating from civil and structural contractor. Maybe we have other. Maybe what else? There are many, right? So you can be part of here lah. Then we have quantity surveyor, okay, which is focus on costing and contract administration. Architect more on architectural. Normally architecture project manager lah for building project. For infrastructure, civil engineering works, like road, highway, dam, airport, normally the project manager is an engineer. Okay. So we have interior designer. Okay. Also part of the consultant, we also have landscape architect. Okay. Okay. We have also land surveyor, and we have other specialists. So we will see later lah the breakdown of other specialists. Okay, and then we go to the fourth one, which is the builders or the contractor. Okay, builder or the contractor, normally the division is main contractor, nominated subcontractor. So under this subcontractor. Okay, okay, right. So that's builder. And then we go to the next one, which is the manpower. Okay, so the manpower cover technologies for, maybe this is for special works. Okay, we have also technician, especially for mechanical and electrical works, which they need to do some commissioning. So they need to do this commissioning. Okay, skilled worker, semi-skilled worker, and unskilled worker, which is normally would involve in the work on site. Right, okay, and then we move to the next one, which is material and equipment supplier. So we have nominated supplier. Okay, sometimes we have the manufacturer, okay, importer or distributor. So this is in the group of material and equipment supplier. Okay, and last one, but it is very important, which is approving authorities, whether at federal level, state level, or local authorities. So normally normal project is under this local authorities lah. Like what? Like maybe water supply organization, okay, electricity, under TNB, maybe like fire department, something like JPS, okay, something to do with drainage, whatever. These are examples of local authorities. Okay, right. So this is employer or owner lah. Just now, employer or owner. Okay, so we call also the client. Okay, purchaser or authority. Okay, normally the person or party who wishes to have development project constructed on a piece of land. Okay, the employer is the most important party to a contract, as he is in the reality the paymaster. So he is the paymaster who initiate and ultimately uses the tangible fruits of the contract. So paymaster here is actually pay the contractor lah for the work, pay for the land he want to develop, pay for consultant, pay everything. So that's why we call it paymaster. He initiates. So the project is come from him. He is the one who initiate the project. Okay. If you want to do the building, he needs to have the building, so he initiate the project. Okay. And then finally, he will use the tangible fruits of the contract, meaning the project, the end product, which is the building, okay, or the infrastructure. Okay. Right. All right. Next, the employer may be a public entity, okay, government bodies or private entities, developers, owners, investors. Okay. He will appoint consultant, employs contractors, and supply the necessary fund to implement the project. So that is employer. Okay. Now we go to the contractor. Okay. The contractor is the person or legal entity, partnership, or company who under the contract is actually entrusted to carry out construction work. So normally contractor, the root word is contract, right? Contract. So he is the one who execute the contract. So become contractor. Okay. So normally focus on construction work. Okay. So sometimes we call it builder as well, installer, erector. So depending on the nature of the contract involved. For example, if the contract maybe just to install solar system, okay, so maybe we can call just installer. So that is varies lah, different ways of labeling this contractor. Okay, so erector maybe some structure, maybe scaffolding, maybe this is for very big project which involve many scaffolding or special scaffolding or something to help the construction work. So maybe they will erect the scaffolding. So this is just an example lah. Okay. Right. So construction development can only remain at blueprint. So at blueprint and drawing board stage. This is meaning in the drawing. Without contractor and builders to actually translate the project into reality. So contractor or builders actually they are the one who actually translate from what is in the blueprint or in the drawing into a reality. They construct. Without the construction work, the project remains in the drawing. Okay. Right. Owing to the complexity of the nature of the contracts entered into between the employer and the contractor may be further described as a main or general contractor. So this is very normal lah. Normally traditional contract for DBB, okay, we call it main contractor or general contractor. Turnkey contractor, so this is normally for design and build, where the contractor will do the design and also the construction. So this is simple project lah, simple project. Okay. So in this case, design and build or design and construct contractor. So so this is actually in the same group lah. Okay. Just normally turnkey, the project is much simpler than this design and build lah. Okay. For example, maybe renovation of our house. So we can call just a simple contractor. We just said we want something like this, so they will come up with the design and they will construct the work lah. So that is example of turnkey contractor lah. Okay. And then management contractor, okay, we call it MC, management contracting. The procurement method is management contracting, or we have construction management contractor. Okay, so this is another project delivery method, construction management, where the contractor is called construction management contractor. Okay. Right. Normally, these contractors enters into main contract with the owner for the execution and completion of a contract. Okay. So these are their roles, and they have to contract with client lah. Right. Okay. Right. So under contractor, main contractor, normally we have subcontractor. Okay. So subcontractor is a person or firm to whom part of the main contract works are sublet. So normally main contractor will sub the contract to the subcontractor. Okay. A subcontract is a contract made between a main contractor and another contractor that we call it as a subcontractor for part of the work which the main contractor has already contracted to carry out part of his contract with the employer. So meaning this is the client have contract with contractor, right? And then contractor will sub his work to the subcontractor. So they are actually working in the same project for the client. But this subcontractor is actually answerable to this contractor. Client doesn't have to know anything about the subcontractor. So the subcontractor is under the responsibility of the contractor, main contractor. Okay. Right. Depending on the complexity of the works, okay, the specialist skills required, the extent of detailing or design work involved, the method of contract procurement adopted, subcontractors can be further classified as domestic subcontractors. Domestic subcontractors, this is normally very a normal thing, domestic. For example, the contractor, main contractor is from Johor Bahru, it's from JB, and then he got project at BP in Batu Pahat. So this ABC company, so ABC have project here. So he need to find local contractor to help him work at this Batu Pahat, subcontractor. So we call it local, domestic or local. So that's why we call it local. Normally it is a requirement in a project for the contractor to find subcontractor in the area just surround the projects, okay, to help to flourish the economic activity for the local people, okay. And then nominated subcontractors, okay. Sometimes nominated contractors, so we have client here, we have main contractor here, okay, main contractor here, and sometimes client may have this nominated subcon who actually have direct contract with client and paid directly by client. Sometimes they will have something like this, or sometimes the nominated subcontractor will be under main contractor. Depends on the necessity of the project. Okay. So other terminology, designated or named subcontractors, okay, selected subcontractors, specified or named subcontractors. This actually, I think in one group lah, nominated, designated, selected, specified. So they actually the same thing. Okay, so we try see. Okay, nominated subcontractor, specialist contractor nominated by owner, architect or engineer who signed the respective subcontract with the main contractor and perform their respective duties and responsibility under subcontractors. Okay, so normally nominated by owner, architect or engineer. Okay, who signed their respective subcontract with the main contractor and perform their respective duties and responsibility under subcontract. So this is one way. Okay. So meaning the subcontractor is under the main contractor, but it is nominated by the owner, architect or engineer. Okay, so meaning the subcontractor has good track record, then and the owner, architect, engineer wants the subcontractor work under the main contractor. Okay. In Malaysia, there is a prevalent practice of subcontractors further subletting portions of their work to an array of subcontractors. So subcontractors is allowed to sublet, to sub his work to another subcontractors. For example, the labor, the material supply, fabrication, installation, erection and installation for his work that he actually have contract with the main contractor. Okay. Right, so that is subcontractor. Right, next move to the supplier. A person or firm undertaking the supply of goods or materials to contract, the supplier's contract is with the main contractor. So usually have the contract with the main contractor. So in essence, a supplier is a contractor concerned solely with supplying goods and materials. So usually supplier is actually subcontractor but focus on supplying goods and materials. That's why we call it supplier, as compared to undertaking services or labor. So normally he just focus on supplying goods or materials. That's why we call it supplier. Okay, as for subcontractors, a supplier may be a domestic, nominated, designated, selected, or specified supplier. So this is also like subcontractor just now. Maybe this supplier can be named or appointed by, requested by the main contractor to be involved in the project under the subcontract work. Okay. In practice, the common types of suppliers encountered are the domestic, nominated or designated types. This is especially for maybe special material which cannot be found in any other supplier. So maybe this supplier, this particular supplier is the only who have that materials. So that's why we have to nominate or design specifically the supplier to work under the subcontractor for his work execution. Okay. Right. Okay. We move to the professional. So this is actually mostly consultant. This professional. Okay. The professionals are not parties to the various contracts employed between employee and the contractor. Okay. Main contractors and subcontractors, and subcontractors and his subcontractor suppliers. So this is they are out of the agreement between. They are not in the middle of this contract. So they are professionally appointed. Okay, the professional may have his own services agreement whereby he may contract to undertake either all or some of the following work depending on his terms of employment. Okay, so maybe he's focused on design work, supervision work, contract administration, or all of these three. Or auditing or independent checking of turnkey or design and build contractors work. Okay, for example, for design and build contractors where normally there are no consultant appointed by the client. So all the design, construction will be done by the contractor itself. So maybe the client wants to appoint a professional to do the audit or independent checking in the design provided by the design builder or the contractor. Okay, and then project management or facilities management. Okay, right. So these are the range of stages where actually the professional can involve in the project. Okay. Owing to the peculiarities of Malaysian law, in most instances, only the qualified person is entrusted with the design and supervisions of the works undertaken. Okay, so in Malaysia, we are very much hold to this rule. So, like our construction drawing, the drawing to be used for construction purposes must be endorsed, especially for architectural drawing must be endorsed by the professional architects. The same goes with the engineering drawings, mechanical, electrical, structural must be endorsed by the engineer, professional engineer. Okay. Right. So the definition of the qualified persons encompasses mainly architects and engineers. So they have special title qualified persons, normally referring to architects and also engineers depending on the projects. So normally for building projects, it is architect. For infrastructure works, civil engineering works, it is the engineers as a qualified person. Okay. So architect, who is architect? Okay, in most building project, the traditional general contracting type, the professional team during design and construction stage is normally led by the architect. So he led the design and construction stage for a building project normally for building projects. Okay, person who practices the profession of architecture and usually submits the application on behalf of the owner to obtain development order and designs and submit building plans for approval. So for building projects, to obtain the building plans approval, to obtain development order, normally architect who will submit the documentation to get the approval. Okay, building bylaws define architects as any person who is registered as an architect under any law relating to the registration of architects. So in the case of Malaysia, we have Board of Lembaga Arkitek Malaysia, we call it LAM, or Board of Malaysian Architect. Okay, so they have the what we call it? This is, they call it LAM, Lembaga Arkitek Malaysia. And who under the law is allowed to practice or carry on business as an architect. So meaning all the architect must register under Lembaga Arkitek Malaysia. Only then they can practice. They are professional. Okay. The Architect Act 1967 restrict the usage of the word to a person registered at the Board of Architects Malaysia for the practice of architecture. So Board of Architect Malaysia, so BAM in English, or Lembaga Arkitek Malaysia. Okay, right? So engineers, so you are engineers in the making, right? Inshallah, in few years, you will graduate and become engineers. Okay, person who practices the profession of either civil, structural, mechanical, electrical, geotechnical, and other, and usually designs and submits plans for approval by the approving authorities. So the approving authorities sometimes is the local authorities, like fire department, so that is part of the approving or local authorities. So again, you are actually engineers will involve during the pre-tender stage actually. In project that is of essentially engineering or infrastructure origin, the techniques are expressly stipulated in the contract as the principal designers, okay, or contract administrator. So for engineering or infrastructure project, so you are the principal designers and contract administrators, and you are the qualified person. In this country, the law restricts the label engineer to any person who is registered as a professional engineer under any law relating to the registration of engineers, and who under the law is allowed to practice or carry on the business of a professional engineer. So under Board of Engineers Malaysia, BAM. So engineers under BAM. Right, next we move to the QS. Quantity surveyors is a person who practices the profession of quantity surveying and building economics and usually prepares bill of quantities, okay, tender and contract processes, evaluates interim payment and final accounts of the project. So this is the scope of the contractor. So preparation of bill quantities, this actually after the design is completed by the architect and also the engineers. So they will come out the BQ. So BQ will be used to call for tender as a basis to measure the progress of the work, as the basis to pay the contractor according to their progress of work. Okay. So in terms of payment accounts of the project, so is under the responsibility of the QS. Okay. QS may be engaged by the architect engineer or may be directly appointed by the employer to play a role during the pre-contract and post-contract work stages. Okay, there is a necessity for the QS to be registered with the board of QS and BQS. Okay, under the Quantity Surveyors Act 1997. Okay, so BQS. Okay, so we have different profession registered under different board of professional. Okay, right, we have other professional. Land surveyor, person who carries out boundary and contour surveys and other surveys on land, submit survey plans for amalgamation and subdivision of land, applies on behalf of owner for qualified titles and final titles from the land office. So that is land surveyor. So they help the clients to get the titles for the land to be developed lah for this project. Okay. Next, town planner, person who practice the profession of town and country planning covering land use, zoning, density, the type, mode, and form of development, traffic pattern, infrastructure requirement, impact of development and developments in the vicinity, etc. So this is town planner. Okay. So this town planner, land surveyor. So land surveyor, we have in Malaysia also Institution of Surveyors Malaysia. Okay, so land surveyor, building surveyor, quantity surveyor, land surveyors actually under Institution of Surveyors Malaysia. So this is actually an organization to actually cover all the surveyors in Malaysia. Okay. Right, we also have interior designer, other professional or consultant. Okay, person who actually practice the profession of interior designer, ID lah, call it ID, performing furnishing and finishing work usually for prestigious building. So actually normally for prestigious building, mega projects which is prestigious lah. So they will have ID lah because they have to have certain theme or concept lah for their building. So landscape architect, persons who practices the profession of landscaping architecture involving beautifications of the projects internally or externally by using plants, all kinds, rock, etc. So landscape. So actually they have a softscape and also they have hardscape. Hardscape. This one normally involve plants. Hardscape normally involve rock, maybe something unnatural like for example, what other hardscape like a pond, that is part of hardscape. Maybe you have benches like cement ferro benches, whatever. So that is a hardscape. Softscape normally involving plant, so that is softscape. Okay. Right, we have other specialists. Okay, project management consultant. Okay. Okay, so they can become other specialists as well. Person or group of person practicing the profession of project management function. The works involved ranges from feasibility report, okay, financial projection, design of management system, evaluation design prepared by consultants, coordinating work of consultant, etc. So this is project management consultant, which is actually specific. Their work to depending on this scope lah. Okay, this include traffic consultants. Okay, so this is also they can have traffic consultant. They call it project management consultant. Maybe acoustical engineers for building like theatres like we have in KLCC building Philharmonic Hall. So we have to have this acoustical engineers. Okay, or information technology consultants and ID consultants, and they are also can be called as specialists lah. Okay. Right, authorities or regulators at federal and state authorities usually interested in matters regarding land, town and country planning, drainage and irrigation, supply of public utilities, fire requirements. Okay. So this is, for example, land, town, country planning, maybe town council, town council, city council. So these are the authorities or regulators. Okay, drainage and irrigation. So this is what I said just now. Like in Malaysia, we have Jabatan Pengairan dan Saliran. In English, drainage, I don't remember. Irrigation and Drainage Department. Drainage and Irrigation Department. Drainage and Irrigation Pengairan Department, DID. Okay, we have also local authorities. Okay, normally the building authorities, there is entrusted with the power to approve layout plans, building plans, service plans, etc. Okay, right. So these are almost similar. Only this is at local authorities. This one fire requirement normally is fire department. Okay. Okay, bomba. Right. Other stakeholders, finance. The owners required to borrow funds from banks and other financial institutions to finance or provide adequate funding to the projects. Okay, so sometimes the owner have to make loan from this finance organization, okay, to fund the project. Okay, we also have manpower. Okay, craftsmen, or actually it is skilled worker. So this is terminology for skilled worker. Of the industry, especially in new construction method, it is necessary for them to appreciate not only the how, but also the why the work they do. So this is the skill work. They not only know how, but they understand why they have to do that. Okay, semi-skilled worker, those who possess skill or one or more construction trades, but have not attained the requisite level of skillfulness to be paid as skilled workers. Okay, so that is semi-skilled. And then we have unskilled worker, those who do not possess skill in any building trades but are working on construction site, performing such basic functions as carrying material, etc. So unskilled worker, they do all the simple work but heavy work lah. For example, carry materials, mixing concrete, maybe. So they have to do this lah. Clearing the site, okay, so they have to do that. Okay, we also have technician. Okay, persons who qualified by specialized technical education and training to under the general direction of technologies. Okay, and technologies is a person who have qualification and experience required for corporate membership of professional institution. Okay, right. So this is our technologies. Right. Okay. Any questions so far? So technology, sometimes we have like a solar system, like aircon. Sometimes this requires special technology. So maybe technologies can come from this area lah. Okay, there are many more things lah under this. Okay, alright, class. So can we move a little bit? Maybe this is the last part lah for today class. Right, so we have learned many stakeholders. Okay, construction stakeholders, there are different parties who actually involve the construction projects. So let's have a look at this, and hopefully after this I can call a few names to just to give you an idea lah about this. Right, okay. Right. So what was included in the client's requirement? So this is maybe the intention of clients, yeah. In the client's requirement, okay. Who prepare the client's requirement? So maybe this is the architect lah. For example, this is architect, yeah, who lead the project. So in the client's requirement is something like this, okay. Right, okay, and then what was included in the budget? We only have the rope, okay, for this swinging, yeah, for this swing, yeah, right. Okay, so the architect normally want to do things which is unique, rare, okay. So he want to do something like this. The swing, not swimming from the tree, but swing from the grounds. Yeah? The architects normally want to do very bombastic, not bombastic, very, very artistic, very artistic design, maybe. Okay, so this is his idea, okay. Right, so for engineers' final details, okay, so he include everything what is in the client requirements here, and this is what included in the architect's vision. Factor of safety here. So they include here. So I'm not sure whether it is a swing or is a ladder now. Too much of factor of safety, overly designed, right? But this is what is included in the QS measurement. Why QS only measure this only one rope? Yeah, maybe why? So normally QS do the measurement based on drawing. Yeah, so what happens in the drawing? Yeah, the drawing not clear, or the QS doesn't understand the drawing. Yeah, so the finally this is what is included lah in his measurement for costing. This is talking about the cost, right? And then what is included in the contractor's proposal? Yeah. So this is what the contractor's imagining to construct lah. Okay, based on the document that he has. Right, okay. But finally, this is what the project finally constructed. Maybe there are different understanding. Finally, we have swinging tree here. Yeah. So the purpose of the swing is to swing the tree. Okay, but actually, very initially, what the client wanted is just like this. Very simple. Okay, so this is different perspective. Okay. Right, so anybody want to give your idea, opinion about all these things? Why we have this different perspective? Okay. Anybody want to try? In my class, who ask good questions, okay? Not necessarily good question. If you ask question necessarily, if you answer questions, so I will give marks for in-class participations. So I call any volunteer. Any volunteer want to give your opinion? Class, please. Anybody?
They have different perspective because they are standing on their side to look at the project.
Okay, sorry, I cannot see. Please mention your name first.
My name is Lim Joey.
Sorry?
Lim Joey.
Oh, Lim Joey. Okay. Lim Joey. Okay.
from my point of view, they have different because they are standing on their side to look at the project instead of like standing at the other person's side. For example, engineer, they are more keen on the safety and the look of the structure. So they are more focusing on their side of their point of view. So that's why they have different perspective.
Okay. Do you why they work within their own perspective?
Because they have their knowledge on the specific perspective instead of the other knowledge. For example, we don't really know how to design a whole structure, but architecture, they are much artistic to design a structure out, like draw the structure out. But architecture, they are not really good in calculating how the structure should be, but architect or maybe the quantity surveyor, they know how to calculate everything.
Right. Okay, thank you, Lim Joy. Very good. Any other opinion, class?
Maybe because of the budget.
Sorry, your name first, please.
My name is Muhammad Amirul Akmal.
Muhammad Nur Akmal,
Muhammad Amirul Akmal.
Muhammad Amirul Akmal. Okay. Yes,
Maybe
please.
Maybe from the budget. In the site engineer, they want to what you call say like limit the budget so we can do the simple things. But for the architect, like you just said just now, he want to like artist so maybe a little bit of cost.
Okay. Normally for project first, right? So client see architect first. So supposedly architect know what is the limitation of the budget that the client have, but why architect still want to design such artistic design? Do you have any idea, Amirul?
No.
Any? It's okay. Any other comments from you?
So far, no.
Why all these thing happens? Why there are different perspective. The different party have different perspective. Why they cannot have one same similar mutual perspective? What is lacking?
Maybe communication between each parties.
Okay, communication. Your name first, please.
Chang Yu Ling.
Chang Yu Ling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when we have a project, we need to communicate between each other to understand what the client wants and what architect think about, and what then how the project is built. So lack of communication, then the final performance is different.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Good. Okay. What else? Anybody? Last.
Different. Okay.
Yes, your name, please.
Jefferson.
Sorry?
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Okay, yes, Jefferson. Please.
Maybe based on experience. Yeah, work experience. That's all.
They just view things from their experience.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Different concept, different
Sorry.
ideas.
Your name, please.
Tan Wan Ying.
Huh?
Tan Wan Ying.
Tan.
Yeah.
Sorry, start with T, your name?
Yeah. TANWANYING.
Tan Wang Ying. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yes. Elaborate your
Because they have different perspective, they have different ideas, different concept. Then architecture, they need to uh, fulfill the requirement of client. But somehow the site engineer, they just need to apply their knowledge, their application for our work, but they didn't have any communication. Then there are some problems. So
Okay, thank you very much. So I think I can only take this opinion. We have a short of time already. Actually, we exceeded last time. So thank you very much. Very good for all the opinions. Yeah. Actually, one of the question can become out lah in your test or in your final exam. They are asking about this. Okay, so you can think over about it and find more information lah. Why we have this different perspective, different personnel, different professional, they have their own way of thinking, they have their own way of see things. Yeah. So and then if they work alone, they don't communicate properly. Yeah. So that's why this can be happen or even worse lah. Even worse thing can happen. That's why very important the communication. They need to work together as early as possible. For example, the architect need to ask input from the engineer, from the contractor in terms of I mentioned last week, right? In terms of the constructability or buildability. Remember this terminology? Right? Buildability or constructability. Constructability. So this we are talking about. So clients have specified what we want, what he want, and he has some budget. So there are limitation in terms of the normally if the client have some limited of budget, so the architect must be carefully design as simple as he can just to meet the client's needs But if the client has no financial restriction, no limitation in terms of money, for example, like now we can have Arab countries, they have very futuristic buildings, whatever, because they have a lot of money. They don't know what to do with that money, so there are no limitation with the money. So that's why architect, engineers can just design very futuristic design, right? Artistic building, whatever, right? So that is some of the things lah. So the most important is how actually all these professional can actually get involved, give early involvement lah. So not only during the design stage, so not only the architect, we have architect here, we have engineer here, right? So contractor, if possible, contractor can be involved earlier, during the design stage, so we can have better buildability or constructability. Okay, so that's why, for example, right now we have BIM, like I mentioned just now, building information modeling. So this one actually give chance for the architect, engineer, QS, especially during the design, they can work together. So because they work the design, everybody can know what is the design. They can give real time comment on that's why this is very important. Right, okay, so I think that's all. So next week you can go through this slide first on the stages. Yeah, so this is the last part lah. Yeah, also very important. Always come up with during the final exam lah. Right. Okay. So this chapter 1. Yeah. So this construction sale order. This is also famous question lah in the test. Yeah. Sometimes in final exam also. Yeah. So basically this contract management. Yeah. And then the characteristic. Yeah. Maybe in your quiz I can ask this question. The characteristics, the environment. Okay. Right. So I think that's all for chapter 1. We will continue the last part of our chapter 1, which is we will focus on these stages and process of construction work. Yeah. So this one will be on our next week class on Monday, right? Inshallah. Okay, that's all from me. Before that, maybe hopefully I think discard this one. I want to see all of you. Yeah. Right. Okay. So, right. Thank you very much, class. So, see you next week. Take care, everyone, wherever you are, whatever you do, please take care and focus to your study. If you have anything, problems, okay, consult your PAK, or if you want to consult me, please let me know. Any problems, okay? Don't keep it to yourself. You must ensure that any problems that will disturb your study, your focus, must be resolved as soon as possible. Okay? Right. Okay, class. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor. Happy fasting,
Thank
doctor.
you, doctor. Have a nice day.